Hello and welcome to Hydra Collectables. My name is Kevin Eastman, and today we are talking about turtles! Cowabunga!
Hello, hold on. There we go. Yay! How are you,
Hello.
mate?
How are you
Good to
doing?
see you. I'm very well, thank you. How about you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. I'm very good. Thank you so much for doing this again. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So let me first start off just by congratulating you on 40 years of Turtles. Like, it's amazing.
Beyond amazing. It really is. It's like I can't believe I've had such an incredible job for 40 years, and um, as long as they keep asking, I'll keep doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's phenomenal. Last time I spoke to you, I actually mentioned how it's crazy that every generation of kids seems to have their own version of Turtles. And it certainly is something that's never left the toy store. You know, it's always been around in some form or another. So 40 years, absolutely fantastic. So congratulations again.
Oh,
Um, so I've been lucky enough to talk to you a couple of times in the past. However, I've never actually delved deep into how you and Peter actually met. So can you please explain the story behind that? Like, how did you guys even get together?
sure. No, that's a great question. I had actually had moved to I was working on the coast of Maine, and I moved to Massachusetts to take night classes, and had a friend that lived down there. And every winter, I would move someplace different after working the summers and saving my money growing up in Maine. And so I was riding on the bus. I worked at a pizza place, oddly enough. I was riding the bus home from work, and on the floor of the bus there was a copy of this locally produced comic magazine called Scat, and it was Peter and a bunch of other artists, local artists, were putting it together. So I saw that it was in the next town over, the town of Northampton, Massachusetts, and gathered up my portfolio of cartoons and sketches and drawings and went over to show them, to try to sell them some work, get some work. And they said, "Well, we don't really do the kind of stuff you're drawing, but this one of the guys on our staff, Peter Laird, is one of the co-founders of the company. Peter Laird draws the same kind of stuff." So they gave me his address. I wrote him a letter. We got together. It's just funny just writing a letter to somebody. We don't text them. No, but we get together a couple of weeks later, and pretty much bonded over Jack Kirby immediately, and really started collaborating. Hey, you go pencil some pages, and I'll ink them, and vice versa. And yeah, we just hit it off as famously from the very beginning, and have been pretty much working together ever since.
Great stuff. It's such a nice story as well. Just like the idea of sending someone a letter, being a fan of their work and for them to reach out like that. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So in 1987, we obviously got the animated Turtle series,
Mhm.
and that show changed an awful lot from your original source material. How did you feel about that in the beginning? In those early days, were you upset by the changes, or were you just okay with it right from the off?
No, we that was part of our deal with when we were contacted by an agent who felt this concept could be more than a comic book. um, Toys and cartoons and things of that type. We didn't really believe it, as like, well, it's working, it's fine as a comic book, but would kids really, find this interesting? And so, but at the same time, when we decided to move forward with this agent, we said, based on history in comic books, heroes like Jack Kirby and many, many others in the industry were work for hire. And so a lot of times they didn't have to have any say or control or profit from the success of the characters. And as we self-published and we owned our characters completely, we said the only way that we'll move forward and do cartoons or anything of this type is if we have full and final say and approval. So when it came down to us sitting and talking with the writers and the people that were developing and taking the idea that was written for an older audience, the black and white comic books, and fine tuning it for a much younger kids audience, 5, 6, 7-year-old. All those changes we either suggested, made, or approved of, including, it was Pete Laird's idea to have them have different colored bandanas so you could tell them apart more easily instead of all the red ones. So we were heavily involved for probably easily the first 15 years. Everything you saw with a turtle, cartoons, movies, toys, everything we approved, saw, worked on, and had complete control over. And feel very lucky and very fortunate for that.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of behind the scenes photos of like the 1990s movie and stuff like that with you guys just hanging out behind the scenes. Um, So what can you tell us about the new upcoming Turtle comic book by Jason Aaron? Is there any news on that you can share?
Well, let me give you the spoilers. Basically, he's no, I'm kidding. Um, no, it's really fun. I think, both for I'm a huge fan of Tom Waltz, working with him for 100 issues, and of course, Last Ronin and many, many other things. One of the greatest parts of all things Turtles is we get to work with so many other really talented artists and really talented writers. Eric Burnham, Paul Lamore, that people that bring their love and passion to these characters of ours, and what IDW has certainly done with the IDW universe, which I love and adore. So when you invite someone, like, I'm a big fan of going back from Scalped and other things that Jason's done. Big fan of his work. The fact that he had interest in doing a turtle story, I thought was just absolutely thrilling, and wanted to be part of it. So we're glad to have him, and I've read what he's done, and I'm pretty excited. It's always great to. So I have my ideas and we have our ideas, and Tom and I, when we're working on stuff, we go back and forth on different stuff. But when you see somebody come in with a, kind of a perspective that they've seen it and they've been a fan of Turtles, they bring their own idea to the table, you just kind of go, I never thought of that. That's really cool and awesome. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about what he's doing.
So is this going to be like a reboot, or is this going to be a continuation? Is he going to have access to all the new characters that you guys have recently created?
I'm trying to remember what IDW told me not to say. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that it's within the IDW universe. Let me say that. So things that have happened, kind of like, even like, say, with Last Ronin, it was a Turtle universe, not necessarily IDW. It was close to the Mirage Turtle universe, and there are a bunch of Turtle universes out there, of course, as you know. This one will definitely have its place in the IDW universe.
Okay,
So.
I won't push you any further with that.
I always do that. I'll, like, because a lot of times we're working, way down the road, we're way ahead. And so somebody says, oh, what about what's going on in the next issue? And I'm like, I realize that it hasn't come out yet, or, you know what I mean? Or 3 issues down the road. So anyway, it's going to be really cool.
Cool, good stuff. So I'm a massive fan of your variant cover art that you do. You always do like the cover Bs and stuff like that for the ongoing series. Are you going to continue doing that with this new series as well?
Yes, yeah. It's really fun that I had this really wonderful, I don't want to call it a break, but I'm such a big fan of Sophie Campbell and all the work that she's done on the series, and from before she took over in issue 101 and beyond. But we never really got to collaborate much on artwork together, and I really love her drawing. So it came around issue 132 or 133. We did a Venus cover at the last minute. It was a mistake, and we had to rush it. And so she did something, and I finished it. And we said, this is really awesome. Let's continue it. So starting with issue 133, we did, she penciled the covers, and I did the inks on them, and then she colored them all the way up through issue 150. And it was just an absolute blast. Had a really great time on that. Now jumping back to, and Sophie and I will work together on some other stuff, I know, but these are going back to, starting with issue 151. I'll be doing myself again for a while. So I love that they keep, I can't believe I've done 150 covers like in a row consecutively, which is like, what? It's really cool. So excited to be continuing that. It's been really a blast.
Great stuff. I'm a big fan of your Splinter artwork. I really love that character. So my final question, just a very quick one. I'm based in the UK, and with the 40th anniversary, do you have any plans on coming over to any of our conventions here?
I have a funny story, and I won't keep you too much longer, but it's I love the UK, and I have so many friends over there, and it's been a while since we've done a show over there. And so when Courtney started first booking shows, she books them like a year in advance. We started booking shows later last year, looking forward to this year. We had one in London, and she's like, "Oh, it's London. Yeah, we're gonna do one in London finally." But I think she hadn't done the contracts on them yet. And so it's like, oh, yay, finally we get to go back to the UK. And then we find out it's London, Canada. So we like, oh, not that we don't want to go to London, Canada because we're excited to go. We've done a lot of Canadian shows. We're happy to be there. But I very, very, very much look forward to getting back to the UK to do a show. Miss everybody over there. And I talk to my buddy Simon Bisley pretty much once a week over this, that, and the other thing. And we're always, so we're can't wait to get back and do a show there, and hopefully soon.
We'd love to have you, especially me. I've got a lot of nice comics that I'd like you to sign. Okay, Kevin, thank you so much for your time. It's really appreciated. I know it's early for you. It's actually quite late for me. But yeah, thank you so much for everything over the last 40 years.
Well, thank you very much. And we're here because of fans like you. So we thank you very much. And great to talk to you again. And let's do it again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thank you. Cowabunga. Have a great day, okay?
You too. Take care.
Thanks, man.